Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is the Three of Vessels. Enjoy. And when this card came up after the Two of Stones yesterday, the challenge, I was like, all right, we talked about getting back into a joyful spirit, right? And getting back into that joy, because we do have the Three of Bows down here, fulfillment. If we made the decision, we're not, we don't want to get caught up in the apathy with the Four of Vessels, the boredom. So, this is a celebration of good fortune. As you're walking down the road, you still have the two knights there with you, the Knight of Vessels and the Knight of Stones, and the Green Man's walking with you. And you've made the decision, whether it's high road, low road, and then you get a little stagnant, right? That awareness card came up to say, you know what? I don't feel like, things are going right. And there was a challenge, and you have to challenge yourself to stay in that mindfulness, to stay in that spirit of giving and a spirit of love and a spirit of joy. Okay. And, when you do that, you end up getting that new beginning, or, that new feeling of great pleasure, right? You start to say to yourself, a couple days ago, I was feeling really good. That Three of Bows and fulfillment. And, now, for a couple of days, I just felt like I was fighting stuff, right? And now you're connecting to that joy, right? You're elevating your spirit, and the universe gives you a gift of healing, through that. And you just, you go to work and you're just in a so much better mood, right? You're in a better mood in your relationships. You're in a better mood in your social setting, right? And why is that? Because you've turned that frown upside down, right? You take pleasure in other people's company, right? You understand that, in order to be a leader, you can't take it all on your shoulders. A leader ends up showing people and thanking them for being on their path, right? Giving them the acknowledgement of saying, hey, thanks for coming in today, or, honey, I really appreciate you, right? Just out of the blue, nothing forced, right? But it's just, people kind of look at that funny because you don't get a lot of that anymore, right? And with the Knight of Vessels, where your emotions running high, your emotions aren't running high, but your energy level is, which is a lot better than it was 2 days ago when your energy level was low with that Four of Vessels. And, the challenge card yesterday, is letting us know, hey, do we want to be at high vibration, or do we want to be that low vibration, right? I'm going to choose high every chance I get, especially if I'm out in public, if I'm out talking with people, if I'm at work, if I'm at home, and, I try to keep that high energy level as well. But if I'm tired and I'm not feeling well, then yeah, that low energy, I'm going to go to bed, right? I'm going to try to re-energize myself. That way, I can, get those empowering energies that when I go out tomorrow, I can share that with others, talk with them about, their spiritual path. And when you're able to have those conversations in a joyful manner, when you're playing around and stuff like that with other people, you get that gratitude, that embrace of love, right? And in essence, you're fulfilled because what you're giving out is returning to you, okay? And, the universe sees that, and the universe has its ebbs and flows, right? It has its challenges, it has its obstacles, but it also has its joy and its happiness, right? And, the lesson that we can learn is, especially with the Knight of Vessels, don't let those emotions run too high, right? And, keep an even keel. Celebrate the wins. Celebrate the losses, right? And understand that in those losses, what can I do better, right? And when you look at the wins, celebrate those and say, okay, what did I learn from this, right? And as you do that on your spiritual walk, more and more and more, the universe will guide you. The universe will give you messages. Your ancestors will give you messages of saying, next time this comes around, this is how you should handle it, because you learn that lesson for what's being, going through that. So don't fear the emotion of joy. If anything, embrace it. right? Just grab a hold of it, just like that leadership from the Green Man, okay? Grab a hold of that joy and just let it emanate into your heart. Let it emanate into your soul. And when you come home at the end of the day, you say, you know what? Today was a great day. I was able to, spread some joy. I felt good all day long, and, got the work done. The day went by quick. And, I'm coming home happy. I'm coming home joyful. And, when you do that, you get to experience it. You give yourself permission to, experience joy. You have permission to experience joy. So experience it. With a smile on your face. Do a little dance. Do some YMCA, right? Get out there and just enjoy the joy. That's out there. It's almost like that Five of Vessels ecstasy, doing the dance. But, you look at that joy as life's blessing of, through the trials and tribulations. And we just went through one here with that Four of Vessels and the challenge at Two of Stones. And you made the right decision. Whatever, if that's the low road or the high road, you still made the right decision with that Three of Bowls fulfillment. Because it got you to this place right here. This Three of Vessels and joy. So that's today's card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Share it with others. Give me a thumbs up. And this is D for Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. And stay safe, everybody.